Hi, welcome. In this video, I'm out here once again with Kira. Kira is the newest board and trained dog, a beautiful husky, 6 months old, and again in need of relationship change. Again, coming here, engaging in a lot of very destructive behaviors, already gaining a level of control of the relationship. So this is all about, especially the first couple of days, really establishing a different type of way of connecting with her, a different type of structure, routine that's going to reverse, a relationship problem. Again, no different than parenting. Again, I talk about the parenting example as a helpful example to use when you consider a process. So no different than once a child has become selfish, it's about the parents starting to interact differently, starting to adopt a different parenting path, beginning to get in the airspace of the child differently, and with influence being an active agent. And again, so I talk about influence, by way of how, through specific interactions, how influence begins to change perceptions of a dog. And it's no different here. Dogs are social animals. So here with Kira, on this video, I'm going to be adding to, the basic script, as I call it, the basic method. And so what that represents, again, is interaction focused, interaction based. So I'm going to be moving around with her kind of in a circular pattern here. And I'm going to be putting her into the sit. I'm going to be doing the push-pull. And I'm going to be adding the down onto this. So I'm going to be applying the down by way of how I'm asserting influence onto her. But again, with the focus of taking stress off of her. Again, so you look at a dog's reaction to the crate initially. She really didn't like the crate because it is about control, about relationship, to a point of even putting her teeth into the crate and starting to bear down. So this is where, again, the remote collar is helpful. But again, what's even more helpful is starting to get in the airspace differently. I took her out pretty quickly and began to interact with her in such a way that really lines it up. It's very intentional. So she's starting to accept the crate very well. Like last night, she's in the crate, very well behaved, relaxing, no housebreaking issues, because that's one of her things, is issues of housebreaking. And the video I put out showing the morning routine kind of really illustrates the point of how things come together. So here, I just took her out a moment ago, and she did number 2, which is fantastic. So here, again, I'm going to be moving with her. Again, there is some accommodation. So all to say that, you might be interacting with a dog in a way that seems very reasonable, but if a dog's holding a lot of control, it's still very unreasonable to the dog. So this is the, paying attention to the responses, the level of challenge. And again, I put a video out called the ice cream truck video. Go watch that. Helping people reconcile the response of a dog by way of relationship. You have to understand, we get these high levels of challenge. It's not because necessarily that the trainer is putting undue influence onto a dog. It's the fact that the dog's holding a lot of control. And then you get these high levels of challenge. So the accommodation part of that is for me to kind of slow down, take my time. This lets Kira kind of work through it, somewhat, and then to move forward once she's agreeable to a certain level. So, but again, if you get to a level of really high challenge with some dogs, use a muzzle. The muzzle is just temporary, but it keeps everything safe. And because again, if you're fearful and you're thinking the dog's going to bite, the dog picks up on that. The dog senses that, and it's going to make things worse. So you really want to be able to be confident with what you do, but keep it safe, because there's no reason for people to get bitten if they're interacting the right way, using certain protocols. So here I'm going to start moving with her. Again, as I move with her, I'm going to move her, I'm going to put influence on her, so I'm going to push, do a little push-pull, and move her forward here. She's already getting more agreeable, which is good news. She's initially, the rest of the first hour, she's going in a very high challenge. And so you see that type of reaction. To understand, when you see that, looks like choking behavior, choking responses, it's the mind pulling in. Understand, that's the whole thing. It's that type of mind. But again, we look at the collar and say, well, Is the collar too tight? You know, of course you assess it, but understand that the reaction response is about relationship. So it's going to cause, because there's stress that's already been on the dog. So we're going to have a certain reaction. That's why you'll see her surge forward pretty quick. Do a push-pull, and now I'm going to apply down pressure. If we want to do the push-pull first, when I apply down pressure, influence, I'm just leaning, I'm using my body weight, I'm not pushing hard. Okay, this is more just about focus. I want her mind to collapse, okay, in a good way. Agreeableness. So here, so she's into it down. Don't pet, she's down here. You want to firm it up, so just push again. I don't want her popping right up. And I'm still in communication with her through the leash. Now come to a sit, apply pressure, sit. Okay, see she's agreeable. Line it up, I want her right here. It's like an imaginary boxed area right here. And then right here, same thing. And just hang out for a moment before I move forward. So just let her work through this, right? I'm doing the same thing each time so she makes sense of it very quickly. It's like, it's a type of language. It's like 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Step first, my hand, I switch the leash over, my hand's ready to put her into a sit. Now I won't do it down necessarily every time. Okay, I'll vary it. Push, pull, hang out. Because this is just, because she's never been brought under control like this before, which she needs. So this is very intentional. And so you have to kind of understand that. This isn't a system that, you know, is motivating dogs the way that's popular. Okay, and I talked the issue about bribery. Right? You want to steer clear of that stuff. Because it's about relationship, it's about understanding the role of influence. Influence is necessary, so here, push and pull. Now I'll usually, you know, depending, I'll do another down here at some point. Again, this is just about starting to get her used to this, okay? And see how that draws her attention to me, that inwardness right here. See what's happening with her head turned in. That's great. Doesn't have to be looking up in my eyes, but it's that, and this is the fade in part, right? The inward head turn. Now, if her head turns out pretty far, see, I can nudge a little bit. See that little nudge? Create that effect of her head turning back in. So just like a little hey you, just like a little nudge ahead of time. So this isn't about waiting for her mind to blow up. So imagine if you have another dog over here or something going on. Same thing. So I'll move forward with her. Push pull. If I am using the choke chain when I'm pulling, I'm not going to pull up so hard, okay, because the choke chain creates more influence anyway, so just want to kind of level that down a little bit. If I have the flat collar on her, I'm going to pull up a little bit more, but I'm going to use the flat collar more so if I'm doing the push pull for meeting people, okay. You may not necessarily want to be using the choke chain, okay. I mean, there's time. That's why you have both collars on the dog at the same time. I can switch back and forth. Same thing here, back into the sit, push, pull, and sit. Again, don't say the word, don't use the word sit. Now I'm going to move around here, so I can move with my leg a little bit to help direct her. We do the push, pull, and I'm going to do another down right here. You can kind of really see it. It's having an effect on her mind right now. I'm pushing, not hard. This is just about, because I want her to be agreeable. So this is about just the right level here that I know that she has a high potential to accept. Okay, this is like the tug of war team that collapses type of principle.